Once your Bokashi bucket is full, you need to empty the waste into the soil. Generally, you dig a hole. But if you don't want to dig a hole and bury the waste, you can add Bokashi waste to other composting systems. And it works particularly well with a compost tumbler. This is a compost tumbler. When adding Bokashi waste to another composting system, you have to follow the instructions of that composting system. With other composting systems, in-ground, on-ground composters or compost tumblers, you do need a mix of green waste and brown waste. Carbon-rich waste is brown waste and nitrogen-rich waste is green waste. The Bokashi waste is all green waste. So we're going to have to add some browns to it. Now that would be dry leaves, shredded newspaper, or something like this, what I use as a sugarcane mulch. Now this is an experiment. I haven't done this before, so we're going to follow this over the next month or so and see how quickly it turns into good compost. So initially I'm going to put some carbon in the bottom of the composter. A few handfuls. I'm going to move this out the way. Once I put the Bokashi waste in there, some of the liquid will drip through. So now I'm simply going to empty a Bokashi bucket into there. Now I've got 4 Bokashi buckets. I don't produce a lot of waste, so I compost other people's waste as well. And I've collected enough for this experiment. So simply just empty it into the bin. Out. I'm going to mix it around a bit. I'm going to put another couple of handfuls of the sugar cane. And I'm going to empty. This one's not even quite full. The Bokashi, I did drain the Bokashi buckets first before I did this. However, I don't think I drained that one. It sounds like it's got a lot of waste. But this bucket has got lots of nice white fungi, and this isn't mine. Someone else has given this to me. They put their coffee grounds in there. That fungi just is a sign that the waste is fermenting, so it's all working really well. Just shove that in. Around again. Put another hand. I'll just put a handful. Yeah. Next bucket. This is a very full bucket. Do that in. Good idea to wear gloves when you do this, as it's quite easy to use your hands, but you will get a strong fermented smell on your hands if you don't wear gloves. That's quite moist, which is not too bad. It's not like the worm farm when you want to make sure there's no Bokashi juice. The Bokashi juice is okay in a compost tumbler. Going to add some more. A little bit more, and then the last bucket, which is from someone else, and it doesn't look like it has been. It doesn't look that nice, but it's perfectly fine. If it was rotten, you'd see blue, black, green mould, and it would smell putrid. It doesn't smell putrid. It does look like it hasn't been drained much, and then not much Bokashi on top, but we'll put that in anyway. And it's quite a bit of liquid. I didn't drain it, but because it's going into this, I'm not too worried that I haven't drained it. As you can see here, liquid's just going to drip through, so maybe it's a little bit of a waste of wonderful Bokashi juice, but other than that, it's not going to hurt the system. There's no worms in here, so breaking up the food. So with tumblers, this is what I'm doing here is really what you call batch composting. I'm going to fill up I'm going to do a whole batch of composting and then just leave it to break down. I'm not going to continuously add waste to it. I mean, you do need a bit of waste to do that. And ideally, you'd want to have it, a tumbler composter. I think it would work better if it was filler. However, that's what we have and we don't have any more waste. So I think it'll still work quite well. I'm going to put a couple more handfuls. Now what I did at the beginning of this experiment is I filled up a Bokashi bucket with sugarcane mulch. So that's going to show me roughly how much mulch we're going to need, because I don't know. I've not done this before with this composter. Now I think that's enough mulch for now. What we're going to do is come back regularly and look at it. We do need to clean out our Bokashi bins. And if it was very dry, when you wash them out, you could pour some water in here. I'm not going to put any water in here now. I'm going to wait for a week and see what it looks like before I do that. So what's important now is to put the lid. Let's close up the compost. And our composting needs oxygen. That's why this composter has holes in it. The waste is fermented in the bucket without oxygen, but for it to break down it needs oxygen. And so we're going to, by turning the bin around like this too, you mix it up and it helps oxygen. So turn it around a bit and then have a look. And I'm going to have another look now and just decide whether I need to add any moisture or any more brown waste. So I'm looking at that there, and you can see quite a bit of the mulch is throughout it, and it's also quite damp. So I'm not going to add anything to that. And then what we'll do is we'll look at it in another week, and then we'll decide what to compost. Now it's good that this composting tumbler is in a good sunny spot in my garden. Composting will break down a lot quicker when it's warmer. The steel composter will also generate heat, so that's good. This could break down as quick as a few weeks in summer. It's May here in Illawarra area of New South Wales on the south coast, so it's not a really cold climate, but actually we're not in May, we're already in June, so it's June now, so we're at the beginning of winter. So we'll just we'll look at this again in a week and show you the progress.